Beyond Good and Evil, it's an adventure, a puzzle game, a racing game, a stealth game. It's light-hearted, it's a horror, a story of political manipulation and conspiracy, but also a story of hope and humanity. Beyond Good and Evil is the best game you've probably never played. Originally released in 2003 and developed by Ubisoft, Beyond Good and Evil, or BGAE as we'll now call it, didn't sell very well, but it did review well from both people who played it and critics of the time. Because of this, it gained cult status, staying in the minds of gamers for years. So much so that we've received 2 remasters to date. Yes, everyone always forgets about the HD re-release for the 360 and the PS3. And of course the promised sequel that was first teased back in 2008. Yep, before the fuck monkey.
Fucking chocolate, motherfuckers! Fuck me.
Watching this trailer back now, you can really see the direction Ubisoft was looking to take its games. We could have had an alternative timeline where instead of Prince of Persia getting rebranded into Assassin's Creed, Beyond could have been that rebrand. As I mentioned in the opener, Beyond is more than one style of game. I would say it's a combination of gameplay styles put into one tidy package that not only does each style justice, but excels in pushing its gameplay to greater heights, far beyond a lot of its contemporaries of the time, at least in most areas. We play as Jade, cool as a cucumber journalist with a fashionable taste for the colour green. Headstrong and confident, caring and cunning, she's the perfect protagonist. She lives with her Uncle Paige at their lighthouse, a place where they both take care of orphan children who've been left parentless by the constant attacks by the invading alien force called the Doms. But never fear, the Alpha Section are here to help fight off the Doms and save the people of Hellas. Yeah. But of course there's more than meets the eye here. The truth hiding in plain sight. One that you will discover for yourself and hopefully everyone else on the planet. Before we start proper, I want to touch on my history with this game. This is my 3rd purchase of Beyond. Once for the original PS2 version, second for the PS3 HD re-release, and finally this version, my 3rd purchase of the game, the 20th anniversary version. Despite that, it's not a game I've played a lot. This is only my 4th playthrough of this game over about 20 years. It's a game I'm very fond of, but one I always kind of forget about. Maybe we can conclude why at the end. The game opens with Jade and one of the lighthouse children doing yoga. It's slow, it's relaxing. It sets us up for the duality of this game perfectly. Suddenly panic, the sky opens with a green flash hurling something to the planet's surface. Rushing to the shield button, we are told that our account is empty. Thanks capitalism. Sitting ducks in this barrage, of course the worst happens. Something comes crashing into the lighthouse, making a hole that all the children fall into. Coincidentally, all the children. It's kinda weird. Out come the Doms, skinny HR Geiger-like aliens with the kids trapped inside. Torch in hand, we decide to fight and gain control of our character. Very engaging for an intro, right to the action, rather than a 15-minute cutscene. Not saying that's bad, I love Metal Gear Solid 3, but it can be boring if a game does it wrong. Something you will find as you play this game, it has very little exposition. You are never given a big lore drop as you learn about the world of Hellas organically, you experience it. Nothing ever feels forced. Falling into the hole and receiving a strange vision. We are thankfully saved by Paige and thrown our weapon for the rest of the game, Jade's bow staff. And I want to mention the music here. I don't talk enough about music in my videos, and this intro doesn't really hold back on the soundtrack.
In the eye, Jade! That's his Achilles heel! Go get him, girl!
Fighting off the boss and gaining a pretty blue pill, we are airlifted out by the Alpha Section, a military-like police force that is fighting off the Doms. A news reporter tells how the Alpha Section just made it in time. Of course, as a player, we question this as well. They did nothing. Maybe the Alpha Section did clean up the situation? Or maybe there might be something fishy going on here. Using the pill, we pay off our debts and re-energize our shield and pass out. Waking up, was all of that a bad dream? No! but we have a new job as a journalist. Picking up our camera, we are ready to go and now ready to explore. But first, let's take pictures of all these children for some quick cash. Haha. Oh, I should also mention here, we have this sassy AI in our pack who scans all our items for us. Kind of disappears after the intro though, and he's only really heard for like some voice lines. Worth bringing up, but Secondo doesn't really matter at all. But he does add towards the game's multicultural cast. And I should mention, multi-species. We have cow people, fish people, goat people, dog people. Getting another job offer, that was quick, from Mr. de Castellac. We leave our lighthouse for our trusty hoverboat, but being in disrepair, we are towed to the local garage. Mama goes.
Well, that's it. Finito. Dead.
Ah, stupid tugboat! Garage is only 300 meters away.
Mama go garage, you know. When your mama won't go, you know. Come mama go garage, and so. Hey man, what seems to be the problem? I'll go ahead and tow you to the mama go garage. Mama go.
Hey, it works!
Yeah, works to sucker in the client, alright.
And yes, they are Rasta rhinos. With the hovercraft fixed, we can now explore!
They're attacking the boats! We have to protect them!
Hang on, let me just...
Go back where you came from, Slugger!
Okay, I won't let him out of my sight.
We are now free to explore! And it's so beautiful, it's so charming. This is our map for the full game. Imagine Hyrule Field, or better yet, the Great Sea. Lots of secrets to find, lots of places to go, with the planet's capital being dead center in the middle, a place we will be visiting a lot. I would still consider this the intro, by the way. This review will get a little loose after Black Isle, as I consider that to be the end of the tutorial for this game. But now having full control, our adventure begins. We can explore the city, sadly all locked at the moment. We can take pictures of everyone, like the green creep we are. Oh, and we can race. So doing the optional races first always made sense to me. Free money plus more pearls? Yes, please. 2 of these races can be found in the city and 2 later on in the game at the slaughterhouse. One of those races being mandatory to beat in the game, which might be one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a video game, honestly. First introduced as a side quest and then later mandatory? Very sick. But beating this first 2 races while listening to this banger... We have a good pot of cash and 2 more pearls. Blackreach is found at the northern exit of the city. And this is one of those games where it doesn't exactly tell you where to go. There's no mini-map to guide you. We have a compass that gives us a rough idea and a large map, but they don't always help. Now Blackreach, a lot like the rest of the areas in this game, isn't really a dungeon in the Zelda sense. I mean, I've already compared this game to Zelda, but it's a lot more linear. I just don't want it to sound like I'm saying this is a Zelda clone, because I don't want to devalue it like that. The dungeons are more about sneaking sections or very specific puzzles rather than finding items and going back through the area. We've been asked by de Castellac to take pictures of 2 creatures suspecting to belong to the Doms. Cue a fairly straightforward puzzle-centric cave system, filled with flying vaginas and painful jellyfish. I mean, more chances for money! I'm sure there's a website for flying vaginas. So Blackreach, along with our dip into the open world, is a great little introduction to this game's mechanics. We learn about Paige's new invention here too, his rocket boots, powered by his farts.
The jet boots! They run on homemade biocarburant. Here's the pocket of pressurized methane. And here, in the soles, are the 2 turbo reactors. All you have to do to fire them up is contract your abdominal muscles. It's the transportation of the future. I'm waiting for your signal, Jade. Chili con carne! Hey, what the?
Thunderpants!
Using our, I'm going to call it the complaining button, we can make Paige ground pound at will, letting us sling enemies forward or objects. Lots of pushing and pulling puzzles. It's never a straight line, you're always faced with an obstacle. It makes the areas feel well developed and worked out correctly, not sloppily slotted together. Paige also gets a new tool in this area, a wrench that can be used to cut open fences, just like this one. We also get some more freedom with the combat here, really figuring out how the combat works. It's an extremely simple system, so I won't get too much into it. You smack things with the auto combo, different timings gives you different combos, you can backflip. Combat never really gets too complex, and I've always seen this as a bonus, as we will soon see how many different types of game Beyond really is. Making it to the end, we find these little creatures, this little pair of cuties. How sweet. Let's just snap up a picture. First proper boss fight. And this is the first place where the game might be considered a little bit shallow. The boss fights in this game, they are very simple. You have Paige ground pound, you smack him and you avoid all his schmackles. I say shallow, I don't fully mean it as an insult or a strike against the game. With the combat being so simple, we can't really have super complicated bosses, but maybe introducing some puzzle elements to the bosses would have been better, you know? Because they are very simple and they are very few and far between. But boss beaten and Castellac appeased. Turns out that he was a fake. This guy was just testing us for a resistance group called the Iris.
Mr. de Castellac never really existed. I think I owe you some explanations, Miss Jade. Hop in.
More on that later. So let's focus on the exploration and freedom this game offers. The world is so densely packed, I felt like I was finding a new secret area at every turn. For what is relatively a small world, the content packed into here is really impressive. And you're going to be finding a lot of it just by trying to find the correct path, as the game never really holds your hand telling you where to go next. You're told the location, of course, and we have a handy compass, but again, there is never a straight line. Which leads to the player exploring, finding things like smuggler caves where these fuckers steal some of your cash, and you gotta chase them down. Great little test of your vehicle control. If you're successful, you net a pearl. And even the main city of the game has lots of these doors that will lead you to alpha section areas, which require you to sneak through stealing back pearls they've taken for themselves. I mean, wait, no, alpha section are good guys. Spoilers. Back to the city, Mustache Man here told us to go to the Akuda bar and say a password to Peepers here. Wait a second, is that air hockey? Yeah, fuck you, Francis. Give me that pill, bitch. Let's go say hi to Peepers and beat his ball game. Letting us access the headquarters of the Iris network. So yes, the Iris is an underground organization determined to prove the alpha sections and the DOMs are in league. And they want you, super cool journalist Jade, to investigate the pill factory, as they believe something shifty is going on there. They know this as they sent in their best agent, Double H, but they lost contact. So we must go in, take pictures, and hopefully find what happened to Double H. So I would consider the pill factory the first proper dungeon area of the game. Again, not really dungeony, but call it a dungeon. But how do we get there? Because we can't get past this fucker. Thankfully, Paige clues us in that we can use a disruptor cannon to destroy this overgrown claw machine. And even more thankfully, I'll be doing lots of extra things to collect pills. So it's as simple as running straight to Mama Go's, grabbing the cannon, sadly looking at the space engine, and heading back over to the entrance, easily destroying the claw with our Star Fox-like lock-on. So here's where the elements of horror really kick in. And no, I don't mean the steroid-ridden Mike Wazowski monster. Sneaking around the facility and photographing the alpha section package up people for mysterious purposes is very unsettling. The people of this planet have no idea they're being slowly plucked away, and there's something really scary about that. A great power lurking behind the scenes performing evil deeds for its own gain. Something Illuminati, but really, unsettling. I don't like it. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what they're doing with the people, so it's a little like, ew. The factory is split up into smaller areas, all connecting to this bigger hub area. Each section being done in a correct order. A clear advancement in level design from the linear nature of Blackreach. The correct way to raise stakes and great development with the level design. This is where the game feels like a real threat. Things start getting serious here. Now, I won't cover every room in this place, but let's go over the important bits. We find Double H, but he's trapped in this machine and he's not having a great time. But with this new tool, a glove that shoots discs, we free him from his torment.
you alright?
They turned my brain to jelly.
Are you our contact? Are you Double H?
Not sure.
Does the iris mean anything to you?
Listen here, Miss Thyris.
Jade. My name is Jade. And I haven't the foggiest how we're gonna get out of here.
For that, I may be of some assistance there.
So you are Double H.
Double H, triple Z, oh, whatever pleases you, don't ask me. All I know is that in another 10 minutes, I was a goner. I owe you my life.
Hence, you can count on me, Miss Thyris.
Jade. My name is Jade.
At your service, Miss Jade Thyris.
This glove becomes a very important part of the puzzle design going forward. It's just staggering how much use the game gets out of it. Another highlight, we fight the green glob. Fun little boss fight. Uses Paige as a human shield to stop our discs. Pretty cool move, but a simple enough fight. You hit him in the eye with your disc and you smack him with a stick. Paige gets kidnapped. While sneaking through a hole to take some pictures and send to the iris, Paige gets beat up in this really nasty scene actually. Up to this point of the game, it's been very whimsical, very fun. But bam! He gets dragged away. Going deeper into the facility, we find his clothes and his jet boots in a closet. I should mention that Paige gives us this M disc here too, important for later. Getting to the center, barely missing Paige as he's loaded onto his ship. We're attacked by what looks like the commander of the DOMs, and we fight this boss fight. Immediately we realize we can do no damage, but with the appearance and assistance of Double H, we knock him down, strike him in his core with our new disc glove.
Hey, what the heck is this thing? Hold on tight, Miss Thyris. Yes, sir.
Yeah, the bosses are pretty easy. We're out. Another pearl in hand. Evidence sent over to the iris. Double H saved, but we've lost Paige. And spoilers, he's going to be lost for a long time. But now isn't the time to waver. Something is wrong with Double H. The DOMs are inside his head.
This thing is eating up my insides. I can't hold out much longer. The boys from Iris, they might be able to do something to help me. It's my only hope. Get me back to Iris. I'm begging you. I can't breathe, Miss Jade. I'm connecting to my auxiliary circuits, but they won't hold out very long.
And so we have a timer to get him back to the base in time. It's pretty stressful, but of course we do get him back, and as a reward we're given a butt ton of pills. Fuck yeah! Shortly after, Double H rejoins us as he's being given a cure. The last cure we own, by the way.
WWTAO. We work together as one.
Carlson and Peters, page 823.
So what do we do now? Well, we've been given some keys to the city so we can explore some more of it. A lot of the city actually. And doing just that, we clear up some of the Alpha Section bases in the city, reclaiming some of the pearls. But when exploring, you're going to come across a lot of locked doors you can't open yet without a specific key or a specific code. And I just want to go on a little tangent here and mention how much I love the entry method for codes. Swirling the highlighted character up and down this little dial, oh, I love it. It's definitely not the most efficient way to enter codes, but damn, it's fun. Another thing we'll be finding along our journey are these little shops. They're everywhere, usually stocking items that restore health or repair your ship. But a select few in the game, one being that this shop here has alternative costumes for purchase. Actually, each of our three main characters, Jade, Paige, and Double H, have alternative costumes, along with alternative weapon skins. I really like this costume for Jade actually, which when reading the description seems like an early concept outfit for her. But you can't beat the green. Speaking of green, I love the commitment Ubisoft had to naming a character Jade, and literally making everything about that character green. It's so ballsy and I respect it. And even more impressively, it really works. Now, I've never been a huge fan of Double H's look, as it's just the Alpha Section armor plus his face. Oh, and he looks like this guy from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing. I don't know who this is, someone else pointed this out to me. But his character really stood out to me during this playthrough. Always reliable, always dependable super agent, and he kind of reminds me from Joe from Family Guy. Our next lead is the Slaughterhouse. Word is they send all the kidnapped victims here, so Paige should be here. Send a pig to the slaughterhouse. Very funny game. That's horrible. But how do we get there? Well, Mama Go seems to be the answer to everything. Again, as if we're doing all the extra bits, I already have enough pills. We can now jump in our ship. But surely you can't jump over this barrier. Oh my fucking god, we can. That's like so mad. We have so much more world to explore now. We don't. But it feels like we really do. With this jump, we can also access this pearl in the waterways and find more smuggler chasers, as well as being able to photograph more animals. So we're at the slaughterhouse, and it's 2 more races? Yeah, wait, what? How do we get into the slaughterhouse? Well, you know, the slaughter bit of the house. In one of the coolest secrets in this game, and one that really makes the world feel real, to actually get into the slaughterhouse, you have to take part in race 3 and find the secret exit. How wild is that? Like, what other game does that? Has a racing minigame that makes the game's actual progression tied to the minigame via a secret. It really reminds me of some old adventure game bullshit, but oh, I love it to bits. It makes everything feel so connected. But we're not in the center yet. Lots of driving, lots of avoiding danger. Firstly, dodging this Geonosis walker over here, and all these crumbling bridges. Loads of mines and lots of smaller puzzle-based sections around pushing boxes with your vehicle. Jumping in, jumping out, opening gates, closing gates, that kind of stuff. Getting to the center, we see that this place is, again, pretty different from the rest of the game. The largest dangerous area of the game, actually, with loads of traps and sneaking sections, and a lot of vehicle-based stuff. You explore this dungeon on a little hovercraft, docking on little spots, jumping out, and doing what exactly? Well, looking for Paige firstly, but secondly, gathering more evidence for the Iris network. And there's a lot to picture too. We also start fighting these little robot buggers that sometimes you have to knock into fences to progress through the area. Similar robots show up back in the pill factory, you have to knock into fences, but here is a bit more like, you know, essential, I think. Here's where the game ramps up the horror again, for me at least. Seeing people getting shipped off and processed is still really unsettling and creepy. A stark contrast to the photographing animals and racing, you know, all the fun stuff outside of these darker, scarier areas. So I'm going to rush through this area as it's the longest dungeon in the game, and it's also kind of repetitive. Lots of little stealth sections, lots of hovercrafting, nothing really new or revolutionary. But hey, we do figure out that they take people to the moon! But we don't find Paige. But we do make it out with a bunch of evidence. Heading back to the base, we meet the mayor of the city. She's been helping us this whole time by providing us with codes we have to use to get through these little areas.
The chief, he's alive! It's incredible!
And this is where we hear from Paige again too. He radios us, telling us he's been taken to the moon. Shit! This is where we also learn he's been working with the Iris network for years and keeping it a secret from Jade. Effectively being their leader. Finally get the last key from the network, you know, this special star one. We can access the final Alpha Section base, which by far is the best. I haven't really talked about the bases because they're mostly just like small sneaking sections or little platforming sections, nothing super special. You'll be seeing bits of gameplay with bits of the bases, they're not really that deep, it's not worth talking about. So a longer sneaking section with some great dynamic camera angles. This whole vertical sneak is very cool, leading to this chase sequence which is very Uncharted 2-y. I say Uncharted 2 because it's the best one, fight me. Being shot at by flying troopers and the leader of the Alpha Sections, the Doctor Who monster. Very fun little section, definitely a highlight. Doing this nets us a ton more pearls from the Iris network, letting us finally buy the flight stabilizer for Mama Goes. But what's it for? Well, remember that M-disc Paige gave us, you know, back at the pill factory? Oh yeah, M-discs, I haven't mentioned that yet. Well, they're used in terminals to either watch little cutscenes or to save your game. That's it. Not super important, they're important, but, you know, is it really worth mentioning the save system? Probably not. Turns out Paige has been working on a spaceship called the Beluga, hidden somewhere at the lighthouse. So with this new information, we head back to the lighthouse for only the worst to happen.
Double H, the lighthouse! They've destroyed it! The kids!
Quickly, Miss Jade! There still may be time!
No, 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 no! Pablo? Van? Yoa!
Careful, Miss Jade. The Alpha Sections may still be there.
Double H! They've taken the children! Anybody here? Umi! Zaza!
In response to this, Jade has a moment of weakness. After weeks of investigation, losing her best friend and parental figure, multiple life or death situations, she breaks, temporarily giving up the fight.
You're here, alive and well. Who do you think you are? Did you think you'd actually be able to make a difference? Well, Woof, you were wrong, boy. Completely and utterly wrong. There's nothing anyone can do. There's nothing anyone can do.
We must go now, Miss Jade.
It's over, Double H. Finished.
They're still alive, Miss Jade. Paige, the kids, they're all still alive.
But not for long, literally 30 seconds or so, she's back at it. But how do we find this spaceship? 2 secret consoles have been opened up at the lighthouse, but what are the codes? So, I never mentioned this up until now, but you can examine items you pick up throughout the game. It's never of much use in story progression, it's mostly used for secrets and the such, until, you have to look under Paige's jet boots for 2 codes. I got stuck here for weeks as a kid because I didn't know you could do this with items. But entering the codes in the correct consoles opens up the Beluga, Paige's secret project. Now if you're a savvy gamer like me, you would have already bought the flight stabilizer from all the extra pills you've been collecting. If not, just run back to Mama Goes and grab it. You should have enough at this point of the game. We fly now, and for 2003, this is wild that this just happens. It again just makes the game feel like, I don't know, perfect. It opens up in the right ways. Like, did you ever play a game as a kid and you just wished you could have a little bit more? Maybe you wanted to fly, maybe you wanted to find more secrets. Well, Beyond gives you that and a little extra. Always keeping the player engaged by throwing little rewards around every corner. The Beluga attaches to our hovercraft, so we can attach and detach anywhere. The first thing that happens in our new ship is another Dom's attack, woo! Another serpent. But it's pretty easy to take down. Love the Star Fox style gameplay. So we fly, but now what? I'm not sure. We need to get to the moon, but we don't have enough pills for the space engine, so cleanup it is, but there might be a way. We've kind of already done everything. Save pictured all the animals, but I don't have time for that. So what do we do now? Well, what we're supposed to do is fly over Blackreach.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The first little dungeon of the game, and land inside the top of it. There's a little pool at the top where you can detach a hovercraft. Now, I found this out by talking to one of the Mamagos, but I'm sure other NPCs in the world would have given you hints and directions. And I suppose with you now having the ship, you're going to explore, so it's likely you would have found it eventually. Inside, we find a cave full of flying vaginas, and they're all carrying pills. Exactly what we need. A simple combat job, a few rooms here, nothing special. Now I would have loved multiple secret locations throughout the world to have to access with the flying ship, so instead as Blackreach, maybe revisit each section of the game, the pill factory, the slaughterhouse, through a new entrance or something to collect more pearls, more health upgrades, something like that. This is the only part of the game that kind of feels underbaked. The devs unsure how to give the player the required amount of pearls, so you just go and kill 20 boring enemies. It's very lackluster, and it's a shame because it's a blemish on an otherwise really fucking good game. Pearl get! Space engine bought! To the moon! But wait, there's one thing I missed. This is the 20th anniversary of the game, and it comes with some new DLC, something you never really see with remasters of games. The purpose of this DLC is to connect the story and characters of Beyond 1 to the developmentally troubled Beyond 2. The DLC, which starts by picking up a knife found by the Beluga, is a treasure hunt, having you revisit locations throughout the game, opening up locked chests for the next piece of the puzzle. Exactly what I wanted out of the flying ship, honestly. Minus, new areas. Each chest gives you an item and an M disc. Each disc has a little character profile, represented by these cost-effective moving pictures. A taster for each new cast member that I'm assuming will be in Beyond 2. More on them and how they're connected to Jade and Paige. It's honestly a great little piece of DLC considering it's 3 with the new game. Revisiting old areas, examining items for codes for the next chest, looking at maps. It doesn't last long, but it's nice. And it comes with a reward too, being 2 new costumes. One for Jade and one for Paige. I love Jade's look in particular. Don't get me wrong, I love her green outfit, but the stripped back look with more white really looks good on her. Completing the DLC also gets you a new cutscene revealing more about Jade's past and origins, something which isn't really touched on during the game. Not until the end anyway. And I kind of hate it? There's a reveal about Jade's past at the end which is unrelated to this and much more important in my opinion. But basically, the DLC turns out that Jade and Paige used to travel around with pirates. And I'm not sure about you, but I'm just really over pirates in video games right now. It just feels so unoriginal. In a game that screams originality, it doesn't make me hopeful for the future of this series and the direction they're going to be taking. Now, I might be surprised. I really enjoyed the most recent trailer for Beyond 2, you know, from like 4 years ago. But I'm not keeping my hopes up. I just want my character to be a really fun journalist, not a fucking space pirate. It sucks away. It sucks away the character. To the moon, take 2. The point of no return. Unless you have a save file on the planet's surface, we're in the endgame now. And the moon is a strange chunk of game. I was expecting a Slaughterhouse +1, but no. It's very short, only really consisting of one real puzzle to save Paige. We find him stuck in this crystal, like Crystal from Star Fox Adventures. I'm telling you, it's the same game, but we're too late. Solving the puzzle frees Paige, but he's gone.
I'll come back for you. I'll bring you back home.
Running through Bavel Temple, we snap pictures of both the Alpha section and the Dom's leaders talking. We overhear the Doms asking for Shawnee. That's weird. That's our pen name for our news reports.
Jade, you'll have to pick a code name to sign your articles with.
Shawnee.
Ignoring that and running back through the puzzle room,
Be strong, Miss Jade. We must get to the transmitter. It's our only chance.
Shawnee, it's incredible. We just got an email from the chief. He's alive, Jade, alive. Paige!
Very sneaky, the whole code under the shoe bit.
You found them? You didn't screw up my settings, I hope.
They're exactly as I found them. Stench and all.
Paige is back. Sick. We have our goal. Get back to the landing spot, do a little jumpy jump, and transmit our evidence to the whole planet.
Okay, enter data.
It's up to you now, Jade.
Okay.
Data not recognized. Protected system. Locking. 10,
They're blocking the controls.
9, 8,
No problemo, Jade. I take care of that.
6,
Amigos, Segundo el Magnifico is going to show you who is the best.
2, 1. System blocked.
Nice job, Magnifico. More like Secundo el Major Screw-Up, King of the Cretins, Pope of the Peanut.
Silencio, my little piglet. Look,
Opening system data. Hello, General Secundo. At your service.
I have una amiga who would like to broadcast a little report. Set up an alignment on 2.1.3, por favor, mia bella.
Yes, sir, General. Data loaded. Broadcasting.
Has reared its ugly head on your planet. With help from those traitors from the Iris Network, our enemy, the Doms, have broken through our protective borders and infiltrated your city. Enough is enough!
Amigos, señores, señoras, y of course, señoritas. Keep open your eyes, si tutti quanti. I'm not going to be wasting your time with big speeches. I just wanting to show you The whole big picture. Los Alpha Section are traitors, banditos, impostors, rascals, wooden nickels. Look at these photos that we have taken. The Alpha Sections are the accomplices of the DOM's forces.
The Alpha Sections are the ones who've been kidnapping the Hylians and taking them to the DOMs. Once the victims arrive on the moon, they're drained of all their energy and die.
Since the beginning, we've been manipulated and deceived. Stop listening to the lies that the Alpha Sections are telling you.
Down with the Alpha Sections!
Down with the Alpha Section! Revolution! Et voila!
The kids are still on the DOM's base. We have to go back for them.
For the time being, we better evacuate the sector.
Nice strategy, soldier, but a bit late. Goodbye.
Auto-destruction procedure engaged.
Now let's get the heck out of here. The kid's probably dead, doesn't matter.
Come into my parlor, said the spider to the fly.
Tractor beam activated.
I really love that we get our last boss for our vehicle, something that's been a huge part of our adventure, and it's a really fun fight. Avoiding the lasers, hitting the glowing spots, nothing revolutionary but fun. It's a lovely send-off to our vehicle. Okay, leader of the Thumb Men dead. Now let's get the kids. Yeah, the party decides to change course and save the kids. Weird, but it's fine. Flying over. Ah, fuck. Wait, we're getting Star Wars Episode 9. Fuck yeah. Yeah, it's really strange. I know this is kind of cliche, you know, everyone coming together at the end to fight the big bad, but it's literally the ending of Star Wars Episode 9, you know, the most forgettable one. It's odd. Final boss time, and the grand reveal of Jade. She is part of the DOMs. She is one of them. She is green, and they're green. They're there from the beginning. The signs, green is the color of evil after all. So basically, without Shawnee, the DOMs have been dying, and they need her back. She's kind of like a battery for them. It's never really explained, but that's how I interpret it. She gives them energy, or she sucks energy, or something. They need her, they're dying. No, wait, she like transfers energy, because she brought Paige back to life. Yeah, there we go. She's like a conduit or something. Yeah. The final boss is very simple. Just like we had a vehicle final boss, we have a combat final boss.
Friends will pay the price of your stubbornness. Oh yes, Shawnee.
Both Paige and Double H get snapped up during the fight, leaving us all alone, getting attacked by clones. And it's, again, really creepy. The game has some great, just creepy atmosphere and creepy vibes.
It's your fault that we're suffering, Miss Jade. Abandon.
But a few smacks on his alien-looking ass and one reverse control section, bam, he's dead. Leaving us with a very brief ending of Jade restoring people back to life. the game just cuts. It ends right there. Brief, to the point, perfect. Beyond is just great. I don't know what else to say about it. I feel like I've explained my fondness for this game enough in this long ass video. It's just so well rounded and full of mystery and fun. Just complex enough but also simple enough. Now there are a few direct comparisons to be made, one being Star Fox Adventures, weirdly enough, and the other being it's very Zelda-like, you know, we can't ignore that. But in my opinion, it really carves out its own strong identity. And it should be remembered and enjoyed just as much as those Zelda games that influenced it. I mentioned earlier in the game that I kind of forget it exists, and I'm not really sure why I do forget about Beyond and why I haven't gone back more often. I mean, I've played it, you know, a handful of times now, and I do really enjoy it. I'm not sure, but the game really deserves to be remembered and deserves to be enjoyed by a lot of people. You should really go play it. This remaster, it's not expensive, you know, it's quite cheap. I think it's around 20 bucks or something, which is great for a re-release or something, because usually it's like 40 bucks. But yeah, go play it, go enjoy it. I promise you'll have a great time because this game really is a great time. It's the closest thing to a 10 out of 10 there is. It's a cult classic for a reason. Go play Beyond Good and Evil. Oh, and thank you for watching this video.